Let me ask you a question that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. So, what if a woman proposing marriage isn't bold? What if it's not romantic? And what if, in some cases, it's actually a warning sign? Biblical wisdom for love, dating, and marriage? This is Love Factual. Now, before you click away or head to the comment section, stay with me, because this conversation is not about tradition versus progress. If we make it about that, we miss the point entirely. And this is about something deeper. It's about readiness. It's about the heavy burden of leadership. And it's about the difference between love that is led and the love that is rushed. We live in a culture that tells women to go get what they want. But in the same context of covenant marriage, does seizing the moment actually sabotage the future? Today on Love Factual, we are talking about women proposing to men. Not from opinion, but from wisdom, psychology, and biblical truth. The first thing I want to talk about is culture war versus reality. For generations, the proposal was the man's burden. It was the moment he publicly declared he was ready to secure a future. But today we see a shift. We see viral videos of women getting down on one knee, and the reactions are usually split down the middle. Half the internet cheers, finally, take charge of your destiny. The other half cringe. If he wanted to, he would have. And many of you watching this video right now don't fit into either extreme. You just feel uneasy. You feel a check in your spirit. But you can't articulate why. That uneasiness is telling us something important. It's not just about gender roles. It's not just about who buys the ring. It's about the energy of the relationship. When we celebrate a woman's proposing, we often label it as empowerment. But as we peel back the layers today, I want to challenge that word. Is it empowerment? That word. Or is it often anxiety dressed up as bravery? Is it a power move? Or is it a desperate attempt to move a parked car? Second thing I want to look at is biblical precedent. Let's take a look at the garden for a minute. Let's look at the blueprint. Now here's the technical truth. The Bible does not explicitly say, "Thou shalt not propose if thou art a woman." There is no verse that forbids a woman from asking the question. However, the Bible speaks loudly through patterns and precedents. Let's go all the way back to Genesis, before Eve arrives. So God gives Adam a job. He puts him in the garden to tend it and to keep it. Adam has a domain. He has a purpose. He has a responsibility before he has a partner. This establishes a spiritual principle. A man needs a garden before he can invite someone into it. He needs to know where he is going, how he is going to sustain life before he joins himself to a wife. When a man proposes, he is essentially saying, I have built a foundation, I have a vision, I am ready to carry the weight of a family. Come join me in this. But when a woman proposes, we have to ask, is she inviting herself into a garden that doesn't exist yet? Is she trying to harvest fruit from a tree he hasn't even planted? A godly woman is not passive, but a godly man is not pressured. In the biblical model, the man is the head, which means source and covering. If the woman has to force the covering over her own head, is it really a covering? Or is it a costume? And here's point number 3. The psychology of the sunk cost. So if the spiritual precedent is for the man to lead, why do so many women feel the need to propose? And this is a topic that has come up in conversations from time to time. And I will speak to some women about this because they want to know, is it okay? I had this very conversation not long ago. Should a woman propose? And some women say, I'm tired of waiting. That's the usual answer. And so they'll do it. In psychology, there's a concept called sunk cost fallacy. It's the idea that because you're already invested 5 years into a relationship, you cannot walk away, or that time was wasted. So instead of cutting losses on a man who won't commit, you double down. You try to force the close. Many proposals born from this place are actually ultimatum proposals. The woman is looking at her biological clock. She's looking at her friends getting married. She feels the panic rising. She thinks, if I just ask him, he'll say yes, and then we can finally start our life. But here's the hard reality that no one tells you. A proposal cannot create readiness. It can only expose it. So if you have to pull the proposal out of him or do it for him, you are setting a precedent for the entire marriage. You are teaching him that if he stalls long enough, you will do the heavy lifting. It feels like a solution to your anxiety, but is actually the beginning of your resentment. And number 4, the passenger man syndrome. Now let's talk about the men. How do men experience this? Modern culture says men should be flattered. And sure, in the moment, he might say yes. He might love you. He might not want to lose you. But there's a dangerous dynamic that forms when a woman takes the lead on the proposal. I call it the passenger man syndrome. If you drive the dating phase and you drive the defining the relationship talk, and you drive the proposal, and you plan the wedding, you have effectively put him in the passenger seat of his own life. Listen, I have seen this scenario play out in counseling offices too many times. And then 5 years into the marriage, the wife is exhausted. She says, "Why won't you lead?" She asks, "Why won't he make decisions for the family? Why do I have to carry the mental load for everything?" And the hard truth is, you married a passenger. You didn't marry a driver, because you never gave him the keys. When a woman proposes, she often unintentionally signals that she is willing to be the engine, the navigator, and the fuel for the relationship. Men rise to the level of responsibility that's placed on them. If you remove the responsibility of the risk of rejection, the risk of buying the ring, the risk of planning the moment, you rob him of the growth required to become a husband. If you have to drag him to the altar, you will likely have to drag him through life. And here's number 5. The symbolism of the ring. Listen, there's a practical symbolism we need to discuss. The ring. Historically and biblically, the bride price or the ring was a token of the man's ability to provide and sacrifice. It wasn't just jewelry. It was a pledge of his resources. It cost him something. When a woman buys her own engagement ring to propose to a man, or buys him a ring to propose, the symbolism creates a short circuit. You are essentially providing your own security. You are securing your own covenant. Marriage is a merger, yes, but it is also a covenant, where two become one under a specific order. If the relationship begins with the woman sacrificing her resources to secure his commitment, the polarity is inverted. The current is running the wrong way. It's not about the money. It's about the sacrifice. A man values what he earns. A man cherishes what he had to work for. If the marriage is handed to him on a silver platter, does he value the covenant? Or does he just enjoy the convenience? And here's number 6, the exception versus the rule. Now, I know there are exceptions. I know there is someone in the comments right now typing, "I proposed to my husband 20 years ago and we are happier than ever." And I believe you. God is gracious and people are unique. A woman proposing can work. but usually only if three things are already true. Number one, marriage has already been clearly discussed and agreed upon. The second thing, the man has already demonstrated clear leadership in other areas of life. And the third thing, the proposal is purely symbolic. It's not persuasive. So if these things are true, then the proposal is just a party. But if you're using the proposal to fix a lack of clarity or to jumpstart a stalled man, that is when the danger sets in. So here's the real question. So should a woman propose to a man? My answer is this: you can. You have the freedom to do whatever you want. But the better question is, do you want a husband who needed to be proposed to? A strong woman don't need to chase clarity. And prepared men don't need to be pushed into purpose. Marriage isn't about who kneels first. It's about who stands ready. If the love is real, the leadership will show up. And when it does, you won't have to ask the question. You'll just have to answer it. If this message challenged your perspective, or if you know someone who needs to hear this before they make a big decision, go ahead and share this video. And subscribe to Love Factual for more conversations on faith, relationships, and the truth about love. I'll see you next Thursday.